Qu'est-ce qu'ils ont say?
A new world order.
New world order.
A new world order.
The new world order.
A new world order.
A new world order.
The new world order.
New world order.
That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
Yo, what is up? It's your boy Drew. Long time no see. Shout out to the chat. My heart goes out to you. I know your guys' heart goes out to me. Make sure you throw that emoji up in the chat. Hands across America tonight. We're here live, man. It's good to be back. Real busy with work and life and family. Shout out to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. We appreciate you ladies for all the things you do. Shout out to my wife. Trying to go live that night too, and I've been sick. Maybe you can still hear it in my voice. Let's go, man. I've been running interstate drugs for the last month and a half with Days of Noah. That's where we've been. Shout out to that dude too. No, I don't know what happened to that dude. And what happened to Tartarian Truth? Where's all our people, man? I think everyone, that the internet's just become so overwhelming. I think a lot of people are detoxing and just stepping off. Just gets to be so much and so overwhelming, especially when you're into this stuff like a lot of us are. And it's just nonstop, wave after wave after every day there's a new, it's bigger and bigger story. It's just an avalanche of stories. Good to see everyone here. I see Dishloaf, John Wayne, Gabwe, Zizzy Fizz, C. Griffin, Ghostface. Know That Enemy, Stephen David. Good to see you guys. Yeah, bro. So as you can tell by the cover, liberals are scared of hands now. The hamburger helper hand could be a fascist symbol ready to kill them. What do they think about Country Crock? Has Netflix replaced Country Crock with two black hands yet? Country Crock couple? Are they scary? Are they a threat to our democracy? We live in this crazy, crazy world where you're told basically anything and everything is basically celebrated. Infanticide. Anything you can think of. Put it on the front page of a newspaper. Sell some products with it. But if you dare talk about this one guy, or even consider, hey, let's consider this guy from Germany. Shout out to Jurassic Liars. Let's talk about this guy from Germany in 1940s. Let's be intellectually honest and bring his ideas to the table, and let's see if he had any reasonable ideas or what actually happened there. You want to go down that route, you're an absolute murderer. You're the worst person. You deserve to be extinguished from society. I saw one of the top comments on this Kanye West song, and I'm sure y'all know it. He released a song. It was called Hail Hitler. We can go through some of that stuff tonight. But one of the top comments on the song was, why is he still alive? They believe people should just be dead from words that they say. If a man dresses his second grade son in a dress and sends him to school, society's almost pressured to say, oh, these people are brave. The son and the man are brave. Fuck those guys that storm those Normandy beaches. Fuck them. These guys that put a little boy in a dress is brave. But if you dare to even consider this stuff, you're a bad and evil person. It's pretty crazy. What's up, Big Drink T? Corp Fiction, good to see you. True Thirds Clump. It's just crazy to think about how much is allowed in discourse, but in even like how many people killed is the line in the sand before we're not allowed to talk about these people, and is it the actual number of people killed, or is it the type of person that's killed, the ethnicity or religion of the person that's killed? Because I don't think there's actually a lot of pushback to the ideals of Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Now, he killed a handful of people. It's been a long time since I looked into it. If I remember right, he may have only killed maybe 3 to 5 people or something like that. And I think there's people that would look at his ideals today with the advent of technology and be willing to actually go through these books and read them and consider, well, was this guy actually onto something? Maybe he went about it in the wrong way, but are any of these ideals legitimate? I think people are actually open to that conversation. But when the ideas come from, if the ideas come from the hamburger helper hand, it's completely off limits. Now we get real deep into the nuance here, so that's what I wanted to get into tonight is and I think a lot of these people, you guys have rode with me for a long time, so I think a lot of you will see where I'm coming from and probably feel same or similar ways that this is part of the overarching metascript that's running on the world stage, and this is being Streisand effect on purpose to get people into it, to get people to look into it, get the noticing to continue to for a reason, right? There's got to be a reason. Good to see everybody here, man. Let me throw up one of these goals, man. I don't know how these goals work pretty good or not. Hold on a second. I know Davey Crock always used the goals. Throw up one of those goals in the chat. This song came out just after Croco de Mayo. I think Kanye was a big Davey fan, and he wanted to make sure that he paid a special tribute to our boy. Rest in peace, Davey Croco. If you look at the reason I have them both on the cover here too as well is because how it's all orchestrated through X. And if you start to look at this as a long-term plan or script being played out, and you look at all the pieces on the chessboard and what's happening at the current time on the world stage, other things that are happening, everything kind of starts to make sense a little bit. So first you had the Elon Musk. Should even pull that up before we get into anything, just in case. I know everyone's seen it, but it's so. Let me go back to this. I'll come back to this one in just a second, where I was going to start on the Hail Hitler song. But we're going to go here. Elon. He came out and did the "My Heart Goes Out to You." Well, he didn't even do it the kind of the way I'm doing it, the slow sweeping gesture. He spurged out and did a full goose step. He did the Burger King Crown airplane guy, basically. And then later was like, "Whoa, I'm neurodivergent, bro. Like, I didn't really mean it." It's obviously a troll, bro. Like, everyone knows it's a troll, and then you get the out as you're the right-wing guy at work, and you can say, "No, man, he's just neurodivergent, man." Of course, that's what this is.
For making it happen. Thank you.
So the guy that runs X and buys X and dedicates it as a freedom of speech platform. People will cite his grandfather's ties to neo-Nazi groups. I don't think you even have to go that far. You can just look at the man himself. Whether his grandfather or not was, and his grandfather was actually involved in those types of ideas. But to me, Elon knows what he's doing here. To me, ultimately, it's a script, and it's a long-term play. It's still acting out now with Kanye, and in the events that are soon to come, it's going to all be playing out. But on this one here, it's basically it's just a troll. I think it's almost like a social commentary. What I was saying earlier, you can do anything and everything. You can cut a little boy's dick off. But if you were to do this one hand salute or say this certain word, the Shiloh Hendrix, say any of these certain things, then the left is Manchurian candidates and they're programmable assassins as soon as they see this. These certain types of things they've been programmed to see. He knew damn well what he was doing here. And they're bringing this, they are bringing the right. I know you guys have seen a lot of these memes here. Shout out to Provo, appreciate you for the $1.99. If there's any mods in here, feel free to throw out these links. Provo. Where was I going? Totally forgot. Super chats threw me off, bro. Threw $2 on Sniffer's Row. I was shaking my titties. I got $2, and now I totally lost my mind. Okay, they're radicalizing these people online into these ideals. Even if the ideas are sound, both can be true. Both can be true. The idea can be a sound idea based in truth and reality, and it can also be people can be shepherded down these rabbit holes to get them into these desired effects. So both can be true at the same time. Stephen David says, how come songs about robbing people are allowed, but trolling Hitler stuff doesn't get that type of pass? Exactly. Yeah, you rattled me, Provo. I'm done, bud. Anyway, that's where it started here, right? And then with the promise, since every big tech platform was censoring conservatives and left-leaning, Elon buys X to with the promise of making it right-leaning. We're not gonna ban right-leaning thoughts and ideas, basically. Which, in a short amount of time, has led to this. Kanye West coming out with a song called "Hail Hitler." Kanye teamed up with Spic Fuentes. They would call him a Holocaust denier and all that, but these are mainstream ideas at this point. We're going to get into that. Why would that be? I'm of the belief it's easy to just post talk and take where you're at now and, reverse engineer how you got there and say, well, they wanted to get to that point because, so you got to figure out what's coming up next. Why would they need to slowly turn the public against basically Israel, right? That's what's really happening. Zionism and Israel. It's not necessarily it is the Jews, but really it's on the geopolitical landscape. This is all pushback against Zionism, Netanyahu, and Israel. And that's playing out live right now on the world stage with Donald Trump. We'll get into that in a little bit here. Probably go for maybe like an hour tonight. I don't think I have too much on me. I do have to work tomorrow. Last few streams I did before I took that short little break, I was going in late to work. I called into work one time. Totally bad idea. I got to make sure I stay on point. I'm trying to go and don't oversleep tomorrow. These are what the headlines are talking about. It. The track ends with a lengthy Hitler sample. If you guys have heard it, can I play it on YouTube? I was looking at, there was a few reaction videos. Can you just play it, or do you have to like pause it and react? And do you have to react? Do you have to be like, oh, this is so evil, man. I can't believe how bad it is. But there's a Hitler sample at the end of the song, and it's in German, and the English translation of it is Hitler saying, whether you think my work is right, whether you believe I've been diligent, that I have worked, that I have stood up for you during these years, that I have used my time decently in the service of my people. You can cast your votes now. If yes, then stand up for me as I stood up for you. Now, that sounds like something very much like Donald Trump's been saying the whole way around on his campaigns, right? He's like, I'm here for you. I'm here for America first. And the left has called Donald Trump Hitler. It's all kind of coming around together. Jeremy A said, buy yourself a couple gallons of gas on me, Drew. I appreciate you. Yeah, I get like a gallon and a half. Well, no, we're at I get 3 gallons now about. Yeah, right here from Kanye West swastika swag to Elon Musk salute. It's a good time to be a Nazi. And if you remember, I went into, I should have had that up. I went into that. There was an anti-Elon protest at a Tesla dealership by my house, and I went in there, and all that woman could say is, "You're a Nazi." And I said, "Why am I a Nazi?" She said, "Because you're a Nazi." And it's almost like these people fear. What am I trying to say? They don't necessarily fear Nazis because in their own ideology, anything and everything is acceptable. I think they fear the judgment that's going to come from a Nazi-like regime. They know that they're going to get wiped off the map because they know they're batshit crazy, I think, deep down inside. I think they know there will be a day of reckoning, and they can project that fear onto the idea of a Nazi. Ye was one of the most popular and influential musicians in the world before publicly embracing anti-Semitic beliefs. Since then, he has lost lucrative corporate sponsorships, the support of much of the music industry, and he claims custody of his children from ex-wife Kim Kardashian while continuing to spread anti-Semitism, despite the occasional promises to stop. And if anyone thinks this is legitimate, and you see this guy, he's going on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan said, "You got 32 million followers, yeah," or something. He said, "Man, don't cut no inches off my dick. I got 33. I got 33 million." I mean, it's funny, and it's something that I think people want to believe in. But the guy was married to the biggest puppet in all of Hollywood, Kim Kardashian. The song itself says, "I'm a cuck. I like to watch people fuck my wife." That's the actual lyric of the song. "I'm a cuck," literally what he says. It's almost like these Jays say, "Hey, man, you can promote this song, and we're going to get this out here for a reason," which what I think it is. I'll get into that. And they're willing to promote this all out and get it out here, but then they say, "Well, you also got to slip this little poison pill in there." So when these young kids are singing along with the song in their car, trying to be cool and trying to act hard, they're going to be saying the words, "I'm a cuck. I like to let people fuck my bitch," or something. Whatever the lyrics is, he definitely says, "I'm a cuck." There. Ye aired some of those grievances on the track, which opens with the line, "Man, these people took my kids from me. Then they froze my bank account." They froze Davy Crocco's bank account, if you remember that. Couldn't get even donations. "I got so much anger in me, got no way to take it out. I think I'm stuck in the Matrix. So I became a Nazi. Yeah, bitch, I'm the villain," basically. That's some of the lyrics. Can I play it? I still don't know. Can I play it on YouTube? It says, as of Thursday, the music video was still playable on Ye's X account, though not his YouTube account. On X, Ye claimed it had been banned by all digital streaming platforms. So, yeah, you can make any song about anything. You can talk about doing the nastiest shit ever to men or women or both. Nothing is off limits, especially in song. But if you say this stuff, complete and total ban. Yo, San Francisco Hidden Truth. This guy's a nutso, bro. He says, "Did you know Anthony Edwards is an avatar of Satan, bro?" I got to check in on that score here. My Timberwolves winning tonight. I think Timberwolves are going to get this series, so hopefully they win it tonight. Long-time Timberwolves fan here. I doubt Anthony Edwards is an avatar of Satan. He does love the BBL, though. What's up with the BBL stank? Okay, Ye's team says the song will be featured on his upcoming album, Cuck, which includes tracks titled "Gas Chambers," "World War III," And Hitler, Ye, and Jesus. Why is he leaning into this cuck thing? And he was also on Twitter talking about, I used to suck my cousin's dick or something when we were like teenagers, or when he was a teenager or something. I don't remember exactly. But they're also trying to equate like anyone that talks about these ideas, like even if you want to talk about it in an intellectual realm and you want to talk about these ideas in World War II, what actually happened, what would have happened if things went a different way. Well, now you're completely crazy. You must be like Kanye West. We should take your kids away. It's that crazy equivalency there. The American Jewish Committee quickly condemned the song. Oh, imagine that. This is blatant anti-Semitism, and it's disgusting. Ye is profiting off Jewish hatred, and the music industry needs to step out and speak up against this obscenity. Now, the music industry is Jews, right? Yeah, in recent weeks, Ye posted media of himself with white supremacist and Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes. He dined with President Trump in 2022. So that's part of it too. Is just for the left to smear Donald Trump with guilt by association, with Ye, Nick Fuentes, all these other people. But let's get into the what's happening, the overarching thing. I think the reason, so much to get into here. Let me stay on this just for one more second. The song is actually illegal in Germany. Now despite being banned on most social media platforms, the new single by Ye has millions of views. Uses an Adolf Hitler sample. From Germany, Ye's video cannot be directly seen on his X profile, even though the posts were still available on May 13th. Changing one's location to the USA with a VPN, for example, makes the post visible. Now, this is the exact what I'm talking about. There's Streisand affecting this. They want people to think it's so banned, and for you to not think you can't see it or something. It's like the last thing left in society that you can't talk about. We've created this shock culture society from the 80s. NWA, fuck the police, Howard Stern, Jerry Springer, Girls Gone Wild. Everything's just about like shocking, in your face, and we just want to shock your system and any and everything. Basically, nothing's off limits. Andrew Dice Clay type shit, right? And now you get here, and there's this one thing left, the last bastion you're not allowed to say or talk about. And I think they know that people are at this point going to be like, well, why? How come we can say this? We can say X, Y, and Z. We're allowed to do it. Why can't we say this one thing? And I think they're trying to turn the tide on Zionism and Israel and Netanyahu for what's to come. Salute was an official greeting of Nazi Germany. That's what Elon Musk was throwing up. So it's become a modern day kind of fuck you to political correctness. Doesn't necessarily mean what it means here. Just like when Eminem was on the radio, he used to say the F slur, the homophobic slur. He used to say that all the time. I think that's one of the only things you can't say on YouTube is the homo slur. Eminem used to say that all the time. And even when they asked him about it, he's like, well, I don't mean actually those people. I just mean you're a wimp and a pussy. And that's what this salute's growing to mean now. It doesn't necessarily mean this. It does kind of mean, hey, I'm noticing this, but it's like a fuck you to the woke, to the left, to the modern day degeneracy. And then in post-war West Germany, they limited these expressions to overcome some of the dark past of the Holocaust. Public display or decimation of Nazi symbols and slogans, such as the arm gesture or the phrase, became a criminal offense. The law prohibits the use of symbols associated with unconstitutional organizations, including those affiliated with the Nazi Party, like the swastika, SS, runes or the Nazi salute and slogans. Their use can be punished with up to 3 years in prison or a fine. Denying the Holocaust is also illegal in Germany and many other European countries, as well as in Canada and Israel. 80 years. 80 years after the end of the war, the ban on Nazi-related content remains strict. It's a lot to unpack here, man. So shout out to 12 Lord. I do believe it is his birthday today. So happy birthday to my brother in Christ. So much to unpack here. I don't even know where I want to go next. I do think it's going to lead up to civil wars in all Western nations, maybe across the entire globe, the globe. You may see worldwide civil wars on these different nationalistic versus globalist ideals as a precursor to a possible third world war. Maybe a short outbreak of international battles, but I think it's all going to start, at least in the West, in these Europa, America. Real soon, this is going to pop off, and by real soon, I don't really know what that means. This summer, maybe within the next 3 years. I would say it's going hot soon. It feels like I don't really want to put a time frame on it, but we're basically in a cold civil war, at least here in the West, where these guys are trying to stamp out any kind of even artistically expressing any of these ideals or thoughts about them at all. They're trying to completely stomp anything out like this. That's crazy to me to think. 80 years. So there's one event in the history of all of the world, millions of years, they tell you. There's one event that it's illegal to question. People are in jail right now as we speak. People are in jail and have spent time in jail for questioning the official story of it. And is that the world you want to live? Do you want to live in that world where we're give it a few more 20 years, we're 60 years old, and we say, hey man, we think 9/11 was fishy, and you're gonna have to go sit in a clink somewhere, cool out for a couple years? That's pretty crazy to me to think that. Anyone I've ever heard called a denier of that, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say it's never happened or it wasn't bad. I don't think I've ever heard that. It was a total bullshit, 100% made up lie. What I've heard say is the numbers don't match and the numbers are inconceivable. And I do think part of the reason why this is being ramped up and why there's being a propaganda push from minstrels like Kanye West is to get the people to notice and turn the tide against this, because I think that these people themselves know that their time is up with beating that dead horse because of the artificial intelligence. A lot to go over here, man. One sec. The one. Oh, this is perfect timing for this. This is Toilet Bowl Earth himself right here, actually. This is the former president of Iran 15 years ago when talking about the Holocaust. They asked him about it. He said, hey, I don't deny it. It's a bad and horrible thing. The numbers may not match, but it's horrible that. And then he also mentioned, like, hey, why are we prioritizing the death of this group of people over millions and millions of other people died? And this is what he said 15 years ago.
You have consistently denied the Holocaust happened. You have called it a lie. And I'm just curious, I have some photos. These are dead
It's just laughing.
bodies from a German concentration camp taken by the Associated Press. Mr. President, is this photo fabricated? Is this photo a lie?
Dude's straight laughing. Look at him.
Is this photo a lie?
I gotta go back a little bit.
This photo
Oh, he's just straight cheese. Look at him.
fabricated. Is this photo a lie?
نه خیر من از شما سوال دیگه ای میکنم.
I'm asking you a different question.
حوادث تاریخی زیاد داریم.
There are many historical events,
چرا این حادثه برای شما
similar
اینقدر
historical
مهمه؟
events. Why is this one in particular so important to you?
Because you're
60 میلیون.
denying it
در جنگ
happened.
دوم 60 میلیون.
But in World War II, 60 million people were
چرا اینا
killed.
براتون مهمه؟
Why are we just focusing on this special group
برای همه
alone?
اونها
We're
متاسفیم.
sorry for all the 60 million people that
همه
lost
60
their lives
میلیون انسان
equally.
بودن.
All of them were human beings.
فرق نمی‌کنه
And it doesn't
مسیحی
matter
باشن،
whether they were
یهودی باشن،
Christians or
بودایی
Jews or
باشن،
Buddhists or
مسلمان باشن.
Muslims.
انسان‌ها کشته
They
شدن.
were killed.
ما برای همه متاسفیم.
So we're sorry for everyone.
No, that's not the full clip, but later what he says is she presses him on it more. And he says, well, and this is 15 years ago before AI, he says, well, why don't we put the numbers in the computer, an unbiased computer with no feelings, and let's see what the computer says about it. He kind of does that same shit-eating grin, though. Because these guys must have access to something similar to this, you would think, right? Like before it reaches mainstream consumers. I thought that's the part it was going to play, but that's basically what he says is ask the computer. And I think the computer models will tell you that the extermination at that extent, it just doesn't calculate right the way they say. So my thesis is basically this, that these people know that their time is up. I think they have known for a while their time is up. I would even go a step further and say the entirety of 9/11 is to build up to remove these people out of power of banking and everything and out of America, possibly out of it. I think they'll give them Israel, maybe just leave them in Israel and tell them quit fucking with everyone else. And that's what it seems like it's going. 9/11, when you really dig deep in 9/11, buildings came down 33 years after they were built. Definitely built to be destroyed. 110 stories on the buildings, right? How many countries have they been removed from? 109. So it's the encoder right in the building. You had the dancing Israelis right when it happened. I think it'll still take a few more years, maybe even 33 years from when it happened. So it happened in 2001, so 2034. We're not that far away from there. We're 9 years from there. Could you imagine this small shift in the Overton window we've seen in the last year or two? I mean, imagine 9 more years now, right? It's not even an Overton window anymore. It's like a sliding glass door. And Kanye, Elon Musk, all these puppets are being used to push that door, push that window, push the discourse into an entirely different direction to achieve a different result. So I don't think these people are unknowingly getting kicked out of America, if that's what's going to happen. I think they're actually doing it all themselves. Netanyahu, I believe, has the famous quote, America's our golden calf, we're going to suck it dry. It's sucked dry. They know it's done. They have to go on to the next host country. So they can create a scenario where, hey, we're going to be the victims and we're going to unjustly get kicked out of this country and we're going to move on to the next country, which I personally believe is India. Maybe it's somewhere else. Maybe it's somewhere I'm not, that up on yet, but wherever they go next for their main home base, they're going to have a new host to siphon off of for a long time. While at the same time now they can say, oh, we were unjustly persecuted and we're victims, if that makes any sense. Damn, I wish that was the one that said, where he says, ask the computer. That's literally them, right? Oh, they're not. And here's where we're at now. I did want to bring up, where's that other one? So many links of it, not in any order. That's where I got the ultimate respect for Days of Noah, where he has it all laid out and plotted and planned and everything. I wish I could do that, bro. Like, I'm just up here kind of freestyling it all. So what's happening now with Trump, if you haven't been following it, is Trump's taking a tour all through the Middle East, and he's striking deals basically with all these other countries. And meanwhile, they even bring at the same time. So at the same time, Kanye West's song comes out called Hail Hitler. They're going mainstream with the story about Trump and Netanyahu's relationship was straining, Trump's meeting with all these other Middle East countries. And the one I didn't pull up, which I should, and let me pull that up, is he has one where from the 80s talking about he can be the guy to bring peace to the Middle East. An old... Oh, San Francisco Truth has the one. Anthony Edwards is an avatar of Satan. I gotta click it, bro. Hold on. Where's the old one? I'm talking about there's an old one. I don't know if it's an Oprah one or... they're gonna show all these new ones. He says he could... Dang, it's just gonna show these new ones. I should have had it up already. I'm not sure if it was the Oprah clip or not, but he says, man, the art of the deal was his book and his negotiating ability, that he's the one that could actually go into the Middle East and be the guy to bring peace about to the Middle East. Pandora, appreciate you. Damn, it's only gonna show these new ones. Important to play that one. Sorry, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it fast enough. I just want to keep it moving. But anyway, you guys have seen those old clips where he's still on the same talking points in 2025 that he had in 1985. He's very consistent with what he says, almost as if the whole thing is a long-term script that he's playing out. The Trump card, the last thing that's going to happen before an entire new world order is revealed. It's going to be the good new world order that you want at first, right? But anyway, the dude's there right now. He's creating allies with all these different Qatar and all these UAE, all these other countries over there. And I believe what he's doing, he's going to create this ceasefire or peace agreement with all these Middle Eastern countries. And I think this is basically what he's even said. He hasn't come out and said this word for word the way I'm going to say it, but he's heavily implying this is what he's doing. That he's going to create all these peace accords with all these countries without Netanyahu involved and without Israel involved. And then basically at the end of the day, he's going to go back to Israel and say, hey, all these other countries are on board. Now you have to be on board, basically, because everyone's like, fuck you, Israel. We're going to... And if you're not on board, then, hey, fuck you. That's basically what's going on. He's also used the tariffs to, as I predicted, the tariffs as a negotiating tool to even bring China into heel, bring China to the negotiation table and strike better deals with China. And again, as I said that the tariffs are basically a bluff, but they can't just all be a bluff. So he had to go forward with them. And he still is going to have to go forward with some tariffs here and there. If they know everything's a bluff, no one's going to come negotiate. He has to go through with some of these things. Trump proposes golden age for Middle East speech. at the U.S. Saudi Investment Forum. Play just a couple minutes of this. They love Trump everywhere in the world, man. All over the world, they love him.
In the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, ever since President Franklin Roosevelt met with King Solomon's father, King Abdul Aziz, aboard the USS Quincy in 1945, the U.S.-Saudi relationship has been a bedrock of security and prosperity. Today, we reaffirm this important bond, and we take the next steps to make our relationship closer, stronger, and more powerful than ever before. It is more powerful than ever before.
Why does Elon clap like that? Did you see that? Watch him play. He goes like this. He brings his bottom hand up. It's like, watch. If I can go back.
And by the way, it will remain that way. Steps to make our relationship closer, stronger, and more powerful than ever before. It is more powerful than ever before.
Hilarious. And I did want to mention this, that I totally almost forgot this. Okay, so while he's over here doing this Middle East peace tour and meeting with these guys here, seeing what these guys look like, I gotta get a still of them up here. They all wear that shit on their head. Major sacrifice in the professional wrestling world. Sabu passes away 2 days ago, I think. Sabu, who wears this shit on his head. He's trained by his uncle, the Sheik. Not the Iron Sheik, but the guy named the Sheik was his trainer. And he wears this shit on his head. And I've said from the beginning, Vince McMahon is directly tied with Donald Trump's cabinet. And then you get this guy, Sabu, from ECW. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Sabu. Who wears that headdress thing. Fucking guy dies right as Donald Trump's over there meeting with these people. And another coincidence, because I started looking into that. I'm like, yo, this shit is sad, man. It's like sus though too. Another thing when I looked into it, Dark Side of the Ring, starring the Sheik, Sabu's uncle, premiered on Vice. I think tonight it premieres. So these things take months and months to like produce and get ready. So they had this like episode ready in the can. Dark Side of the Ring, the Sheik. From Vice TV. Yeah, this is it right here. This thing's ready right when the guy's nephew and his main protege dies. And the Sheik also, so the Sabu wore his uncle's thing. I mean, that's pretty crazy to me that this is all timed so coincidentally, right? You got Cornette in there. I got to watch this. And these are some hardcore maniacs here. Yeah, Sabu was awesome to play with in WCW versus NW. I was watching some Sabu shoot interviews, and he said he was on one video game, and I think it was that one, and he said he got paid $100,000 for the game. And he said, man, imagine if I was the Undertaker or something that was in every single game every year. Yeah, J.D. Vance took him out, Stephen David said. Crazy. So it's crazy to me that Sabu dies on the day Trump's over there, and then just in the can, they have this Dark Side of the Ring ready to go about the original Sheik. Fucking insane.
We wanted to enlist
Rest in peace, Sabu.
in our military, meaning.
Okay. Anyway, the Trump's over there striking deals with all the camel jockeys, right? But without Netanyahu. And I think they're going to all just basically make this deal, go back to Netanyahu and say, hey, bro, not only do we have the deal with all these other countries, Trump can say, hey, not only that, I got people in the United States saying, "Hey, man, we're noticing F the J's, this and that." Like the look is real bad, bro. Because Israel's threatening to go in and just completely wipe out the rest of Palestine too. Yeah, here it is right here. 3 minutes. Let's play this one. Trump's aggressive tariff strategy back in the 80s. Maybe he'll talk about the peace in the Middle East too. Maybe not, but let me just play this real quick.
Despite the uneven consequences, President Trump was all in on the tariff strategy. It's a strategy he's been talking about for years, as far back as the late 1980s, when he first tested the possibility of becoming president.
Our guest, the famed developer Donald Trump of New York.
Back then, Trump's target was Japan and its trade practices.
The fact is that you don't have free trade. We think of it as free trade, but you right now don't have free trade. And I think a lot of people are tired of watching other countries ripping off the United States. This is a great country.
He believed from the beginning that there's really nothing worse than being laughed at.
They laugh at us. Behind our backs, they laugh at us because of our own stupidity.
And he came to see the Japanese as laughing at the United States, at taking advantage of the United States by stealing the jobs, by dumping product here.
We let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible.
After Japan's economy cratered, Trump shifted his ire to a rising economic power, China.
They are ripping us like we've never been ripped before. If you look at Japan...
What people don't realize, you can't just go into Japan and sell your product in Japan. You have to, I believe you have to completely own a business and everything over there. Like, I guess I don't know enough about it. I think you have to own like a turnkey business even and employ people before you're even allowed to even try to sell your shit over there. Is that, if anyone could tell me if I'm right on that. But Japan or China doesn't fuck around. Like, you have to participate in their economy. You're not just gonna dump your shit over there, drop ship it from the United States and make a bunch of money. Meanwhile, I can go on eBay right now. You guys want to buy like some sexy time shit for your ladies? Go on eBay, type it up, and it's gonna come from Japan. $5 free shipping, teddy, any kind of this stuff you want to buy, lingerie, any of that. $5 free shipping all the way from China. It's gonna take a few weeks to get to you. But we can't send any. I can't send a T-shirt from here to Georgia for less than $5. So somehow they can have the product shipped here on a boat and delivered to your door for cheaper than you can, as an American citizen, send just a shirt in the mail. Fucking crazy shit.
If you look at China, where we lose $100 billion a year with China.
He's been saying the same thing for 30 years. Donald Trump has a very binary view of life and certainly of the world. And so to confront China, which he perceives as America's most important and dangerous rival, and to be able to use blunt instruments against them and to come out and at least be able to say that you're a winner and they're a loser, it's hard to imagine anything more appealing to the core of his personality.
Please welcome the next president of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump.
By 2000,
crazy. He's not. I saw when he was coming out in the Saudi Arabia. He was coming out to the YMCA. That's like his new theme song. The Village People. I get why here he's not, but wonder what those Saudi Arabians think of that shit. They're probably like, "What the fuck's this?"
2016, Trump's message had finally found an audience, and his focus on trade and China had found its moment.
First time I ever met Trump, I was, coming out of Goldman Sachs and being somebody that had been in finance for a number of years, I was set to be unimpressed. I was actually very impressed. Now, he didn't know a lot of details. He knew almost no policy. But what I found most extraordinary was when we got to the section on China, which I kind of threw out there, of a 2-hour meeting, almost 30 minutes or more was all about China.
We have a $500 billion deficit, trade deficit with China.
And you got to remember, a lot of this, he was just reciting everything he'd heard from Lou Dobbs.
We're talking about a trade deficit of $315 billion last year with the Chinese.
He's been a guy that's watched Lou Dobbs for 30 or 40 years, and the only thing he had formed as a worldview was China.
Because we can't continue to allow China to rape our country, and that's what they're doing. It's the greatest theft in the history of the world.
He talked in this kind of vernacular that kind of hit people in the gut, and particularly when we talked about trade and job shifting overseas.
What was his message to these people on trade? China's to blame?
The message is very simple, is that the elite ship the jobs overseas, and I'm going to bring it back.
You could see the appeal of Trump, at least I can, because it's clearly America is no longer producing anything, right? Or next to nothing. People had jobs. It was a manufacturing country, and they went away. I saw it in my own hometown, St. Paul, Minnesota. Mentioned this a few times. There was a Payne Avenue. You go down Payne Avenue where I lived. There was this giant Maytag conveyor belt above the street, and brand new stoves and washers and dryers and stuff would be going across that. And basically the whole city, you graduated and you went and worked for either 3M or Maytag. Actually, I'm sorry, it was Whirlpool. You go work for Whirlpool, and you had a job, and you could buy a house and support your family. And Whirlpool moved out in the 90s or something like that. 3M's still there, but not what it used to be either. All these jobs have left. There's no more manufacturing. Look at Detroit. It's a wreck, bro. I remember as a little boy even being like, well, why isn't everything just made in America? Keep the money in America. It's just so common sense. This guy here, I was going to talk about this guy earlier. I probably kind of shot way past him, but I've done other streams on this guy. His name's Ernst Zundel. And he was big in bringing the Nazi movement back into Germany in the 80s and 90s. And then he fled to Canada because it was illegal. And then there was a resurgence of anti-Semitic activities in Canada. And I think they're using the same playbook that this guy had. So if you ever want to look into this, the guy's name is Ernst Zundel. Play a clip of him real quick. Same types of things that Fuentes and those people are tapped into.
Nobody has ever analyzed why the German nation that had more Nobel Prize winners and more famous researchers and scientists and was one of the best educated countries in Europe turn on the Jews. Why did these good Germans turn on the Jews, who had more Jews living amongst them than even
For no reason whatsoever.
percentage-wise living in
For no reason at all, right? Just woke up one day and we're like, fuck them.
the United States today? Why was that?
Kanye West, let's pretend the Kanye West thing's 100% real. He just woke up one day and was like, fuck these guys. For no reason, I'm going to fuck with these guys. Let's pretend it's 100% real. Well, exactly what he said. They froze his bank, took his kids, and they own all his songs. So if he says, hey, fuck you, you want to own my songs? Well, these are the songs you're going to own then. Songs that are talking shit about you.
I'm sure Jews never asked themselves this question.
I'm sure I'll get the answer from you now.
Yeah, I can give you the answer.
Please.
Because they displayed the same voracious ethnocentrism, power-grabbing, influence peddling, buying of politicians, dominating of the public airwaves and the public media in Germany and so on, that they display in the United States. And I'm not much of a prophet, but that much I can say.
Yo, damn, Ghostface Killer said it looks like Jordan Maxwell. Damn, my guy. Shit, dude, is Jordan Maxwell. Holy shit, bro. I never thought of that, bro. Like, damn, it all makes sense now. I think these are the same talking points, though, you're going to see today, as they try to get more and more people to notice and get against us. So basically the reason why I want to do this is to show how in the zeitgeist there's this overarching meta script. Shout out to Tim Osman, Infinite Plane. and you could see it play out, man. And it's almost like it's there to be seen, for you to see it and break it down, because you saw how obvious it was with the black kid that killed the twin track meet guy. Then the black kid got the donations, it got the GoFundMe and all that. The one twin is dead. Right after that, what happens? A few weeks later, the one lady comes out and says the N-word to the kid, and then now there's the exact equal and opposite reaction, right? And now she gets the GoFundMe, and people are donating her thing. N-word fatigue is mainstream. I was going to do that stream way back in February. I still haven't done it. I still want to do the stream I have on called The Age of Aquarius about the Negro fatigue. This is a real thing, bro, and it's really coming mainstream. It's being pushed to the mainstream. All these things are happening on purpose. These aren't anything other than prefabricated things that are coming up here. Long-term plans all coming to fruition at the same time because of Donald Trump. Because it's all culminating. This is the crescendo of everything that's been built up. It's the 80s and 90s, maybe even before that. It's all leading up to a certain event or point in time that we're almost right there on the precipice of this shit. Hail Hitler, the song's not satire. It's a weapon of hate. If you're a kid right out of high school, 21 years old or something, you read this, you say, fuck, I don't even like Kanye. I need to go hear this shit. This is Streisand affecting it. I need to go hear it. And then they're going to look up, well, why would he say this? Why are people against the Jews? They're going to start looking up and noticing and finding these Ernst Zundel. They're going to find Nick Fuentes. Find all this stuff. All by design. I went to see what they were saying about it on Reddit. Let's go find the most normie Reddit take. Look at, sorry, this post was removed by Reddit. You can't even talk about it on Reddit. Crazy. This song, it's so fucking dangerous. Google searches of was Hitler actually wrong have spiked in the last few days. Kanye is crazy. Ernst Zundel. Okay. And this is the last thing I'm going to get into before I shut it down for the night, because I do got to work in the morning. And I appreciate your super chats and everything, but I'm making $100 a month here. Last month I didn't make payout, so I don't know if I had $80 or something. I was under $100. I didn't make the payout. This month, you remember last month they offered me $500 to turn on the memberships, and I did. I think this month they sent me a little notice that says I get the 500 plus whatever the subs were and whatever, plus whatever rolled over from last month. So I think this month I get paid out on the 21st, so in a week I'll maybe make $600 or maybe more. I'm not sure really. Even though I do appreciate all the money and everything, I go to my job in the morning, I make $200 to $300 a day. So I can't really trade off $100 a month for $200 a day. And I know you guys understand, and I'm not trying to like browbeat you into more donos or anything like that. I hope that's not how it's coming across, but hope you guys understand. That's why I haven't been here, and it's really hard for me to get the time to get here because I work so early in the morning. I did put in a bid actually for a nighttime job. I was gonna work a nighttime job where I could stream every night and everything, and then they talked to me about it. It just sounded horrible, man. It was like, what did he say? 2:30 p.m. to 11 at night, or sometimes 12 at night, midnight. And I was like, man, fuck that. I'm in bed by like 8:30, bro. So I didn't even go through with the process of finishing up the bid for it, but it just didn't sound like it would work for me and my family. I don't know, man. I don't know how you guys do that night shift, if anyone's in here that does it. I would like to be home for dinner with my kids. I guess it'd be the opposite, right? I'd be home for lunch and breakfast with my kids, but there's something about being home at night when they lock the doors and everything. I don't know. Kind of all I know, I guess. So just too hard of a change for me to even think about. I just got to figure out a way to get here like I am tonight, a little bit earlier, 9 o'clock or so. Anyway, sorry. So I made the other video. I called it the John Cena prophecies. Go on my page if you didn't see it, where I said Vince McMahon is directly still involved with the WWE, and there's a reason they're doing all this stuff, and it's to let you know, hey, the storm is on. We saw it with Pope. Donald Trump sent Vance in, took out the Pope, installed his own guy there, right? That's the only thing you can logically conclude, in my opinion. And I said, you're going to see a lot of these other dominoes fall down. I said in that video, I stated Fauci, but we're seeing other dominoes going down right now. David Hogg losing his position as DNC vice chair after committee panel votes to void election. I think they thought they got David Goggins. They're like, who's this fucking white kid? Where's the black guy? Where's the stay whore guy? They were pissed it wasn't David Goggins. They were like, oh, this fucking twerp, bro? We didn't want this guy. David Hogg's getting kicked out of DNC vice chair. Why? Because in the storyline, Trump's in here eliminating all these guys now. Because even according to the QAnon plan, Israel saved for last. You're getting all the Middle East peace agreements. Meanwhile, you're wiping out all these guys off the board and putting in brand new guys that are loyal to Trump, you would have to think. Whoever replaces Hogg, we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Who replaced Francis, we're going to keep an eye on that. You guys are dropping like dominoes out here. This is what I believe is the storm. You're going to see this in a short, maybe 3-month period. They made a big deal out of his 100 days. Donald Trump's 100 days. It was all over the news. Like, what did he do? Approval after 100 days, yada, yada. Oh, excuse me. I think they're leading up to, well, let's see what his 200 days is. So let's give him 100 more days. He has to get a lot done in under a year to get these people to want him, to keep him in there somehow. They want to flip the perception of these people. Want to keep him in there. EBT is a dang member again. Appreciate you, brother. $1. $1 member. Anybody want to become a member? It's only $1 a month. The Hog's going down. He's going out right now. Done. Another guy. Macron. Done. Not yet. He's not done yet, but this story is circulating hard on the internet. He's got a Coke baggie here in front of him. This is a little Coke spoon shovel so that media comes in the door. These guys are like, oh shit, oh shit. He quickly puts the shit up. That guy covers the little Coke spoon. The amount of cope I've seen from people online saying that's not a Coke bag and that's not a Coke spoon. You motherfuckers have never done drugs. You can tell by the guy's reaction. This is, me, reeks of some fucking agency setup. They come in with it, give it to him. Hey, let's lay this out. And then they give the signal to someone with a camera, a reporter, to come in and look at this. There's no way.
Oh, wait.
Oops. Hold on.
It's a long walk. I'll be back in Poland.
It's through my bathroom.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, yeah, the reporters just come in. Now watch this Macron motherfucker. Sketched out as fuck. He knows he's busted. He's like, shit. Can't make it obvious. Can't make it obvious. This reminds me of the time, like, I think we were smoking a blunt or something at this house my mom was renting. We were in the garage smoking a blunt. And then the landlord came showing some lady, because we were going to move out, and showing some lady the thing. And we're like, shit, dude. And I put the blunt out, like, with just my fingers. And I did the same shit this guy did. I tried to, like, sure it reeked. I'm sure the guy do, right? Like, I tried to play it off, like, oh, all you can do, you're busted red-handed, right? the story's going to keep trending. This guy's done. In my opinion. Maybe not. I don't know, man. The little Coke baggie. Little Coke baggie right in front of him. Little Coke spoon. That's what that shit is right there. You can lay it flat and put it in a bag. You guys never done Coke, bro? And then you pull that thing out, and then you can turn it at a right angle so you can take a little bump. This is the storm right here. You're gonna see a lot of this. These levels of people all falling out in a short amount of time. I'll give it 90 days. Let's see where we're at in 90 days. We're at middle of May, June, July. So by the end of the summer, let's see how many of these other people have been replaced in these high level positions throughout the West, not just in the United States. You're going to see a lot of these people go. The Pope, turns out the Pope has Creole roots, bro. So we had Francis out here. The EBT said the Pope he's a quarter N-word. The Pope Francis was out here opening portals. Now we got a motherfucking real Haitian voodoo motherfucking Pope in here. Trump brought in the voodoo Pope, the Haitian voodoo Pope. You do not want to fuck with these Haitians, bro. Motherfuckers throwing chicken bones out here and shit. It's over for the deep state, bro. You guys got him, bro. It's a Creole. Real black Pope. He's here, bro. Trump's guy. That's why Vance had to take out Francis. But yeah, mainstream story. You just go right to Yahoo. It's the top story. Disagreements on Iran, Gaza straining Trump, Netanyahu. Trump was his biggest ball washer in the QAnon thing. It is even save Israel for last. And for years, since the beginning of QAnon, I've said it's not real. It's bullshit propaganda to make you sit on your hands. Patriot pacification. And at the same time, I've said these types of ideas are going to be used to go forward to implement what's coming next. I'm finally right on some shit. I feel like we're not there at the end game yet, but it's all playing out. EBT's been right there by my side this whole time, saying these same things. They're predictive programming type things. So it's not necessarily real, but it's a leaked script almost. What's happening? So Trump's going to strong arm this dude by getting all these other countries on board. Then he's going to have to go to him. Say, what next, motherfucker? Because everyone else is on board. Yeah, James Hewitt says, Israel has no better friend in its history than President Trump. Trump's been ball washing him the most. Netanyahu was blindsided and infuriated this past week by Trump's announcement that the U.S. was halting its military campaign against the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen, after the Houthis agreed to stop firing on U.S. ships in the Red Sea. Trump said from the beginning, America first, right? Basically, every promise this guy's made on the campaign trail, he's kept, and he's doing it, actually. The exact opposite of any other president. Not that I'm a Trump ball washer. And again, I think it's all script, and this is the Trump card. He's there to get you into some type of new world order, the next stage they want to bring out. What he hasn't done yet, he said he was going to cap credit cards at 10%. He said he was going to build the so-called freedom cities, basically smart cities, 15-minute cities or whatever, with less restrictions on working so that you could go there and just make a bunch of money or whatever. But we'll see. I believe that's his plan for Greenland. If he does get Greenland, he's going to want to build these quote-unquote freedom cities. And he specifically talked about vertical takeoff and landing vehicle Ubers and stuff like that in these futuristic type cities. That could be part of these agreements that he's getting into over here with these Middle Eastern countries. The other one I'm pretty sure you guys saw was the plane gift. It says critics and supporters unite against it, and so no one's for it. It does sound like a suspect thing where he was going to take a $400 million airplane and use it as Air Force One. It does sound like, I don't know how you would ever clear that with people without having some security concerns that it's bugged or somehow tracked or whatever, right? Like there's no way you could take every single piece of furniture and everything in there apart and every little, you'd have to rebuild the whole thing basically, right? Make sure it wasn't bugged and tracked and everything. And they were calling it a bribe. They would call it the Palace in the Sky, $400 million plane. It says the backlash from it was immediate and fierce. I wonder, maybe he's kind of distancing himself from this now because it sounded like he was all in on this. Qatar says, why would we buy influence in the United States? They've always been a reliable and trusted partner. This is not a one-way relationship. Sure, I got through the things. Probably missed a few things, but I'm gonna have to shut it down here. It's getting late for me. But oh man, I gotta go to bed soon. Yeah, look at this fucking shit right here. Trans toddlers allowed on gender treatment on NHS under 7s to be seen by clinics as health service caves in to activists on age limits. Fuck that. But you can't say you can't even talk about this guy's ideas from Germany from World War II. You can't talk about that, but you can. Okay, and then this is what I wanted to talk about the whole time. Forgotten to say these specific exact words. With the black guy that killed the twin track star guy, and then the mother that said the N-word to the kid, that we're entering these helter-skelter times, and we could include that with the race war against the Zionists. I'm trying to kind of watch how I say it. Well, a new one now is happening, and another one that I predicted, bro. If you guys have been here, I appreciate you. But, bro, I've been telling you, where is it going to pop off? I said it's going to pop off in fucking Minneapolis this summer. That's what I've been saying. And what the fuck are they talking about now today on the news? Marjorie Taylor Greene calls for Derek Chauvin to be pardoned. Now, this is all part of this script, bro. This could be Trump's grand plan to take down Tim Walz. And Minnesota is straight up communist. It's a communist fucking place, bro. It's hard for people to understand if they're not from Minnesota. It's as bad as California. It's as bad as New York, just in a different type of way. There's literal CCP offices in there. Tim Walz is an agent of the CCP, literally. They have set up offices right directly in the middle of the United States in Minnesota. It's in the exact middle of North America, that whole continent right here. Because obviously, if you pardon Derek Chauvin, shit's going down, right? That's to get Minnesota to burn and to bring these people out and to put Tim Walz in that pressure cooker. And this is what they're talking about right now. Marjorie Taylor Greene calling for it. Despite the rumor of potential pardon from Trump, Chauvin would still serve his state sentence if his federal charges were pardoned. It wouldn't matter if Trump even came on TV and said, I'm going to pardon these charges. These people would be out there chimping. I was there live in those riots. They want a reason to riot. They hate white people. They want to kill white people. That's simple. Oh, you gotta say unalive on YouTube. I'm sorry. I want to unalive them. Appreciate you, Aaron. So this is the thing to watch next, and I specifically cited, I said, you're going to watch when Trump specifically starts targeting Somalians in the summer in Minnesota when it starts to get hot. It's too cold in the winter. They're not going to come out and chimp out in the streets. But once it gets warm, you're probably there now. I'll give it one more month for sure. And then if you add something like this on top of it, add Somalian deportations or anything, they're going to be out in the streets. It's going to be fucking hot in Minnesota. And the precursor to that was that Shiloh, what was her name? The N-word lady that called the kid the N-word, whatever her name was. Whether or not that's a real story or not, that's for that powder keg of Minnesota. That's where it's going to erupt, bro, for sure. But that's a big story you're going to see trending. I didn't know if I want to save that till next time, and you probably do a whole stream on free Derek Chauvin, you're gonna see that trending. I think it might even be trending right now. I should look on Twitter, like hashtag free Chauvin, for the people that they're building up the black fatigue and all those people that want to fight back against woke. They're just gonna tweet free Chauvin, not because they care about freeing this guy. It's a fuck you to the woke, to the left, to the Democrats and everything like that, to that culture. Yeah, Walls said rumors that Trump could pardon Chauvin as the 5th anniversary of Floyd's passing approaches reminded the public that any pardon would only apply to the inmate's federal sentence. His state sentence would still stand. We would simply transfer him to serve out his 22 and a half years in Minnesota, Tim Walz said. This guy's going to go down too. You're going to see this guy go down hard. There was one I saw, really good one. Let me do this real quick. Was what is it called? I forget what it's called. Alpha News. Yeah, they went straight up in this CCP building on Eustis Street and say, I know exactly where this is. It's reportedly houses a secret CCP front. And they went in and straight went up in the building and then got kicked out. And the building itself has clearance to transport hazardous materials via 18-wheelers. Is this the... Yeah, they tell them just leave the property. They won't answer any questions. If you want to look that up, though, it's called Alpha News. They focus on Minnesota. On Twitter, or on X. I'm trying to find the long form video. They had a whole video, though, where they go into the building. This is just a little clip here.
Xi Jinping describes the operation as one of the CCP's magic weapons and one that helps undermine the sovereignty and integrity of the political system of targeted states. A particular building in St. Paul on North Eustis Street reportedly houses a secret CCP front operation. CCP operatives use the building as their headquarters to influence and curry favor with American politicians like Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. The CCP here in Minnesota, the Chinese dictator Xi Jinping.
And then it all makes sense if it's all a script. It's all being played out on the world stage. That's the reason they chose Tim Walz. There's no other reason you would pick this Tim Walz guy. You could throw a dart at any other governor or any other House of Representative guy or anything from the Democrat Party. You could literally throw a dart and pick a guy better than Tim Walz. He's fucking batshit lunatic, insane. Couldn't be any crazier of a guy because he's a fall guy. Who's the other fall guy that went down? What's his name? The Klaus Schwab. Down. Done. Tired. He's out. There's a guy that replaced him, looks even fucking crazier. That's gonna be another fall guy. All these guys are going down in the next. And I can't say for sure, but I'd say give it 90 days, and you're gonna see tons of these guys fall down. And that's the reason he was out there. So you got familiar with him. Actually, believe it or not, when I say to people here in Florida, I say, "Hey, I'm from Minnesota." What they say if they're like down with Trump or whatever, they say, "Oh, where that Tim Walz guy's from there?" And then they say, "Oh, he was something else." Like that's literally all they know about Minnesota is Tim Walz and how fucking insane the guy was. There's a reason they put that guy out there. He's going down, bro. Trust me on that shit. That's it, bro. I definitely have plenty more. I would like to even play the song. But I appreciate everyone that was here. I'm an hour and 20 minutes in. Yeah, I got to go to bed and get to work in the morning. I miss work. I'm done ski. But I'm also losing my voice. Yo, I appreciate everyone that was here. I appreciate your time. Hopefully I can do this on a more regular basis now. I know I've said that before, but I think I'm getting into this groove here, and I can make it work, hopefully. And I will see you guys very soon. I appreciate everyone that was here. And peace out.
America great again.
To make America great again. Make America great again. To make America great again.
And yes, together, we will make America great again.